Kamala Harris's proposal, which would need to get approval from Congress should she become president. But did you hear about the $25,000 that she's going to be giving away to first-time homebuyers in the U.S.? And it's not, and they haven't said yet whether they have to be U.S. citizens.
You know, I've heard about it a little bit. I think I'm a little biased, just for the record. We just bought a property. And so if I find out that in 2025 people get $25,000, I'm just going to be a hater. I'm not going to be reasonable and put forth any good faith arguments about it. But that would have really been helpful for us this year. That would have been a big help. It would have taken care of the closing costs. Ultimately, promote the idea of American home buyers. I prefer that over these financial institutions that are buying up property and inflating the cost of living and rent, and also foreign investment purchases. So on one hand, I would like to promote the idea of more families, first-time buyers buying properties, so I can see how it's a good thing in that vein. But I think you raised a good point relating to, is it going to be American citizens? Because if not, I don't know why there wouldn't be more foreign investors investing in property for the first time in America, which is just, it seems like it would be a typical government solution where it's trying to solve a problem and it just exasperates the problem. So that's kind of what you got to look into and read a little bit more. But obviously this is far from being passed. It is a proposal. We know that during political campaigns, people say things that they never follow through on. Because they could be unconstitutional. Doesn't mean they won't keep trying. But at the same time, am I excited about it? Got to be honest, we didn't get that. And so I'm going to be drinking the haterade for at least a little bit.
Honestly, I don't think you would have been able to get it regardless, because from what I understand, first-time home buyer, as long as your parents, whoever you buy with, as long as both people or all people or the person that buys, their parents could have not owned a home either. They would have to be the first generation of home buyers. So I don't think it would apply to you or me.
I think that detail seems a little silly, because just because your parents bought a property doesn't mean there's any sort of generational wealth at all. They could have bought a property and then it could have been foreclosed because of the 2008 financial crisis.
I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people assume just because your parents own a home, you must also be wealthy, or not necessarily wealthy, but doing well. But that's not the case. Prices were different then. You're right. Also, the government doesn't know or doesn't probably care if your parents lost their home in the financial crisis. What's crazy is in 2009, I think under George W. Bush, he gave out $8,000 in credit for first-time home buyers. And then, as we know, things still continue to be really bad up until about 2011 from the impact of the Great Recession. But I am totally opposed to it, because giving $25,000 to first-time home buyers is only going to raise home prices up. It's going to cause more of a demand issue, and the demand is very high right now. We have to go after the supply issue and bring more homes to the market, bring down the red tape, incentivize builders to build. I think that's the answer, and not giving away $25,000. I see it like Kamal is just saying, here's $25,000. Think about this. It's going to happen once I'm in office. Vote for me. I'm going to buy your vote. That's my personal beliefs. I'd like to see what people in the comments think. But I do want to also note that Biden had a proposal at one point. He was going to give away $10,000 to first-time home buyers for up to 400,000 people. Kamala's is way different, because not only is it more than double, she's going to give it to 4 million people over the next 4 years, if it passes, of course. I think that's like $2.5 billion per year that the government is going to be spending. That's a lot of people. To 1 million people receiving $25,000 each, approximately. That's a lot of money every year, and that's a lot of inflation. And that's our tax dollars going to it without knowing whether you have to be a U.S. citizen. More than likely, they'll follow suit with the Oregon situation, I imagine. So I'm against it. I don't know what people think. Comment if you agree with me, or comment if you disagree with me.
Yep. I mean, I think for me, it's a major red flag when, and you know what? I got to say, both candidates have been kind of teasing this.
Trump has teased it?
Pardon?
I said Trump has teased giving away 25%.
Not this, but other things. No, they both talked about no taxes for tips and things like. all I'm going to say is where I'm going with this is I think campaigning on handouts is a red flag because to me it speaks of buying votes. And I think whenever you implement these policies where you buy votes, you're kicking the can down the road. And we've had I don't know if it was two episodes ago where we had a conversation about a couple generations before us, where life was really great for them. How many generations are going to kick the can down the road? I think we're at risk. Actually, we're not at risk. I feel like we're currently doing that to the next generations, where we just keep kicking the can and keep kicking the can. And just for elections, like we're just to get people elected, we keep kicking this can. And I don't think the result is going to, 99% sure the result is going to not be favorable economically for the country,
Yeah.